Hello and welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. We are here for the Premier League watch along. It's Crystal Palace against Leeds, and it's, I suppose, an important game in terms of Premier League survival. Not really any Irish players involved, but we just said we'd do a watch along because we haven't done one in ages. So I'm joined by Gary. Gary, how was your day?
All good, Paul. Yeah, well, apart from having to visit the dentist, but otherwise it was okay. So.
Nobody likes visiting the dentist, do they?
No.
We're here to take comments, talk all things football, so it can be anything. It doesn't have to be just Irish football. It can be about Everton getting relegated, because I know there's a lot of people giving me stick about that at the minute. And then there's will Burnley stay up? Nathan Collins obviously playing fantastic at the moment. Loads of different topics, so get your comments in and talk to us.
Yeah, I think the best thing for an Irish point of view actually would be, and I think it can still happen, is if Leeds go down.
A lot of Irish Leeds fans though.
There's a lot of Irish Leeds fans, I know that. I won't be popular with that comment. But from the national team perspective, I think Nathan Collins has got in the Burnley team, and it looks like he's there to stay, particularly as there's talk of me and possibly Tarkowski going in the summer. So,
you and Tarkowski?
That's it, big transfer fee. But it looks like Nathan Collins is there to stay, and obviously we've Seamus Coleman at Everton. I actually don't think, from an Irish point of view, that Everton going down would be as damaging given Seamus's age, and he'd still make an important contribution from the Championship. But Leeds aren't out of this yet, and particularly if Leeds lose tonight, I think they could be in trouble.
Oh, they could be. Oh.
It's gone. It's okay. Their next three games are against Man City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. So if Leeds don't, I know they've got a bit of a gap, and it's good to have the points on the board. But if they were to lose tonight, now I think if they get a result, even a draw tonight, just that extra point or two could make a difference. But and they have a couple of winnable games at the end. But they will be feeling the pressure with Man City coming to Ellen Road next Saturday if they don't pick up something tonight.
Yeah, it's so tense down near the bottom of the league at the minute. After Everton beat Manchester United and Burnley lost to Norwich after beating Everton, everyone thought Everton were safe, including myself. And now it's not a good place to be as an Everton fan. Looking at the league, and if Everton can finish the last few games playing like they have been playing against like Liverpool, the performance that they put in yesterday, then there's hope that they can play better against some of the lesser teams in the league, because obviously Liverpool and Man City are just blowing teams away at the moment, and they're just so good that if Everton can play against them and do well, then they can surely do it against other teams. And they have Chelsea next at home with the fans there. Chelsea haven't been playing great lately, and obviously all the Ukraine stuff going on and all that with Abramovich. So we could catch them on the hop, but with this Everton team, it's unlikely. Were you putting your hand up there for something? Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just the only thing I would say is Burnley are by no means safe yet either, and they've got some tricky fixtures to come. And if Everton were to pick up a few points, it's hard to know what points total would be needed. I mean, people are even saying the likes of Crystal Palace aren't 100% safe yet. If they were to lose tonight, they could even be sucked back into it. But I don't know. I think it's between Leeds, Everton, and Burnley.
Yeah, it's abysmal, honestly. Villa could get dragged into it as well. But yeah, it's gonna really be in the next kind of couple of weeks telling, depending on if all the teams just start winning, that'll just be crazy. But Everton have the game in hand, so ultimately it's in Everton's hands to really become safe, and the squad should get them over the line. But then again, Burnley are playing very well and getting results, and maybe that change of management was actually needed for them.
Well, it seems to have worked. They've got two good wins, as you say. So and I think Watford away at the weekend, isn't it? I think Burnley play again before Everton play, which could
before the weekend,
pile the pressure on then as well.
Yeah, that's I think that's early on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, look, but this is what you have to do. I don't think Everton were helping refereeing decisions yesterday, but I'll save that for a different day. Nate Warnock is in the comments there. He says, love to see Tayo Adaramola in the thumbnail. He's playing for the 23s tonight, though. Yeah, well, I had to put some sort of Irish spin on it. I couldn't have James McCarthy, who we normally used to have on it every week. So yeah, he says, I don't want to see charity professional football club out there, CPFC. Okay, Amateta, for fuck's sake. So obviously Nate's very passionate. Crystal Palace fan. He's actually been on the channel a few times before, so I hope you're keeping well, Nate. I hope your dad's keeping well. Actually, I think the last time we were talking to your dad wasn't well, so hopefully he's well now. I hope Crystal Palace win this game, and Everton can win their game. And I think there's only 2 points then between Leeds and Everton, and they'll be level on points then. And then obviously it comes down to, if they got beat by Man City, then Everton have that game in hand then to try and catch up. If they win that game, then they could leapfrog Leeds. So there's a lot of twists and turns to come in the Premier League for the time being, I think, now. So I'm sure for the neutral it's great, but when you're in it and you're not used to being in it for a long time, it's horrendous, and you can't see us winning a game. It's quite bad, especially a lot of Irish fans wouldn't like to see Seamus go down, considering what a player he's been, and the contribution that he's given to Everton and Ireland over the years that he's been in the Premier League. He's probably been Ireland's best player for a long time, up until recently.
Yeah, no, definitely. Seamus has been a fantastic servant to Irish football. I suppose my point would be it would be less of a blow. I think to have Nathan.
No, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. It's because of age and that.
Yeah. It is an age thing. I mean, but yeah, from a personal point of view, it would be a real blow to see Seamus go down. I'm looking at the table here, and people Southampton are on 40 points, and I think 40 points is pretty much always been safe, and I think it will be again this time. Palace need one more win. Villa need one more win to get there. I think Burnley actually play Villa twice, if I remember rightly from looking at the fixtures, which will be very interesting. Burnley actually go ahead of Leeds as well if Leeds don't win, and Burnley can beat Watford at the weekend.
Yeah,
that would be huge psychologically for them, for Burnley to go to 16th.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for that one. I'm just looking here. Sorry, I was getting notifications on my phone. Darrell Lenihan and Alan Brown, they both scored in the Blackburn and Preston game. It's currently 3-1 to Blackburn. Greg Cunningham assisted Alan Brown's goal at 2-1, and then Darrell Lenihan made it 3-1 to Blackburn. So the goals are flowing in there. 37 minutes in, there's 4 goals in that game already.
Still an outside shot at the playoffs for Blackburn. Although if they do get in, from the Irish point of view, unfortunately, it's probably going to knock out Sheffield United. So
yeah, they're 3 points apart now. If that stays like that now, they're still 3 points off.
Yeah, with 2 games to go. But frankly, Blackburn, and one of my good mates at Leeds United is a big Blackburn fan, and they've blown it themselves. They were in a great situation. They even had a chance of automatic promotion a few weeks ago, and absolutely blew it. And with some terrible results, and it might just be a case of too little, too late.
Possibly, because Darrell Lenihan was flying for them before he got that injury. When he got called up for the Irish squad, I think he got that weekend. I think he got a bad injury, and he was kept out then, and he's only got back in now. I think he's back playing well again, obviously scoring. I think if he can finish on similar form than he was before that international break, the likelihood is he'll probably be in the summer squad, but we'll see what happens. He doesn't seem to really get much of a look in. The only game I really remember him playing in was the USA game for John O'Shea, his kind of testimonial, where actually Declan Rice's last game for Ireland, funny enough.
Yeah, it's I don't know, do we want to go down that road again?
Yeah.
Just going back to the playoffs as well. Millwall are still in with a shout, and it would be great for Danny McNamara to make the playoffs again. Unfortunately, at Irish expense with Sheffield United, but they probably dropped 2 vital points at Birmingham. But I don't know if people saw it. It was great. The kid gave him 20 quid to give to charity. And I just see tonight on Twitter, Denny has actually found the kid. I'm sure he's going to do something for him. And they are actually a great club, Millwall. Really, really great fans. I know it's got a really bad rep. And it can be a pretty... I have been to the new... I've even been to the old Den as well. And they can be scary places to go, but really passionate, proper football people. And it is a brilliant atmosphere if you're looking for some place to go in England.
Yeah. I actually think Danny McNamara could be a long-term replacement for like Matt Doherty, because I say Matt Doherty because Seamus is obviously, he's for Ireland, he's kind of like a right centre back now, which makes sense. And obviously Doherty is the wing back / winger. So I think Danny's more of a kind of wing back than he is, say, full back or centre back. So I think he could be the natural replacement there. I still laugh at that time where I thought he was a left back, but anyway, he's clearly on the right hand side. But yeah, he's absolutely flying. I saw his manager saying that he could definitely be a Premier League player, whether that's with Millwall or without Millwall. So that's pretty high praise. He just needs to keep growing and evolving as a player, which I'm sure he will. He seems like he has a great attitude. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he progresses. Another year in the Championship might not be any harm to him as well. Same with Ryan Manning and stuff like that as well. So there's definitely a lot of Irish players benefiting from playing in the Championship. But yeah, Spurs Fan Society Group has joined us in the comments there. He doesn't obviously like Everton too well. He says, no, it wouldn't, as in Everton staying up wouldn't be bad, I think he's trying to say. It would be lovely for Everton to go down. We will take a few of their players. Coleman is Championship level anyway, so his rightful place is down in the division. And then he says Coleman's been passed for a while. Not even Watford would take him, to be honest. I think that's a lot of nonsense, really. You must be a big fan of Matt Doherty. But I think that's nonsense. Although Seamus is catching on a bit, he's still very much able to compete at Premier League level. He just shouldn't be playing every single game, every single week, because I think at his age he is kind of getting shown up a little bit. He might not be as sharp or something, and I think that's when you kind of see Seamus looks like he might be a level down when he's not actually. I think Everton are a worse team when he's not in the team, and I think he brings good leadership to the team despite results and stuff like that. I just don't think the team has many other leaders in the group that can help us get over the line. But anyway, Ross says, see Brown and Lenihan on score sheet tonight. Yes, we've just spoken about it about 5 minutes ago, I'd say. But yeah, great to see 2 Irish lads on the score sheet. What were you going to say, Gary?
One thing about Seamus.
Oh, A was in. Here. Sorry, go on.
Yeah,
how'd you miss? Sorry, go on.
One thing about Seamus, and I remember actually Damien Delaney saying it a few years ago, when he was kind of getting to the end of his days with Crystal Palace. I think for his last contract, he had to effectively live like a monk, and he couldn't do absolutely anything. And even just to get his body up to the Premier League level, and it was still a massive challenge for him, because it is such a, at this stage, is such an elite level of football. And I mean, what's Seamus now, 34, I think. It's
33.
He's still 33, sorry, apologies. But it's still a tough, it'd be really tough to play at that level.
Yeah, well, I just think, I'm just going to block a couple of bots in the comments here, just talking shit. Trying to send people stupid links. Don't click on those links, people. Anyway, I think I have them all blocked now. Yeah, okay. It's not anyone that's actually a real person that we've blocked. They're just people who are just putting in stupid comments with links and stuff like that. Probably get you hacked up. That was actually a great touch by the 14 there for Leeds. He flicked it off the striker there to make it go out for a goal kick. I'm not sure how much he actually knew about it, but if he did mean it, fair play to him. But yeah, I suppose we haven't kind of done one of these live videos in ages to just kind of talk about things as a whole. I mean, if it's coming to the end of the season at the minute, If you were to give your, say, Irish player of the season, who would you nominate?
Oh, put me on the spot now. My Irish player of the English season will say so. That's going back. Actually, do you know who I'm going to give it to? I'm going to give it from these Irish performances. And there is a Limerick bias in me, but so what? Chidozie Ogbene, because he has been an absolute revelation. He has come in, he has made the position his own. I don't think people are even talking about him not being in one of the front three positions now. He scored goals, he's created goals, he brings a pace, he brings an energy, and he really brings a smile in his face, which is fantastic to see. So for me, for this season, considering he only got a couple of minutes last June against Hungary, I'm actually going to go for Chidozie Ogbene.
You're only basing that off Irish appearances. You're not actually basing that off a whole season.
Well, I'm based on Republic of Ireland, yeah, as in an Irish player. I mean, if you're basing it on the season and club performance, no, he hasn't done badly for his club, and Rotherham are doing really well. But if you're basing it on club form, maybe you'd go someone like Matt Doherty, who has done really well with Tottenham and has gone from being totally out of favour to playing and now becoming a huge loss to them with his injury. But and obviously playing at a much higher level than Chidozie Ogbene. But from his Irish performances, I would be going for Ogbene.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough for his Irish appearances, but they've been kind of seldom over the course of the season, because obviously it's only little periods of windows and stuff like that. But he did help them win the cup, and he scored that screamer in Wembley as well. He did have a decent season. But if I'm looking at like player of the year, you have to think of goals, assists, where your club is in the table and stuff like that. So I don't think Matt Doherty. He's had a good couple of months recently, in terms of player of the year. I wouldn't have him anywhere near. Shane Duffy had a good start to the season, for example. Probably finished the season poorly. Not really getting a look in that. Great to see him, obviously, the resurgence, to see him getting back originally. But he seemed to have kind of slowed down now towards the end of the season. That's just in the Premier League, but we don't really have too many players in the Premier League. I mean, if Nathan Collins keeps Burnley up, he could have an argument there, because he's been so influential the last couple of weeks, and if he keeps that up, I was reading player rating for him yesterday, he got a 9 for Burnley, and just said he was an absolute colossus at the back, and he just kept Raul Jimenez and the other striker, I can't remember his name, at bay. And Jimenez is one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Like when I did a podcast with John Egan, he said Jimenez was the best one. Well, him and Mane, I think, were the two best players he played against. Jimenez. So for Collins to keep him quiet and obviously get the win against Wolves was massive. So he could be someone maybe towards the end of the season. But if I'm going to pick someone, it's probably going to be at Wigan. It'll probably be Will Keane or James McLean, because you look at their numbers.
Yeah, but it's the level they're at as well. Chidozie Ogbene has done really well from a right wing or right wing back position at Rotherham, who are up challenging Wigan as well for that title. But I think if you're going to base it on club form, and Will Keane clearly didn't do it at international level, or hasn't done it yet. Just before you proceed,
I'm one other person who's played every game for his club, Josh Cullen as well.
Yeah, Josh Cullen has done superbly. Scored again for Anderlecht at the weekend. So, although they were beaten by the league leaders, but I think you have to take, and I mean that's why my caveat with Chidozie was from the club level, even though you did mention his goal at Wembley and everything, and it does look like Rotherham are going to get promoted now automatically. That was a massive win for them on Saturday. But I think you have to look at the level the players are at as well. And I mean, Matt Doherty's playing in the Premier League. Nathan Collins is playing in the Premier League, but not often enough over the season.
Yeah, but like numbers don't lie. Michael Obafemi's up there with a shout as well, by the way.
Yeah, certainly.
He's scoring for fun every week.
He's scoring goals, and I think he's nailed on to be in the squad in June.
He has to be, otherwise something's gone wrong. He's been texting Stephen Kenny's daughter or something if he's not in the next squad. Like there has to be something up with it. Like if he's fit and he finishes the season strongly. I mean, the only reason he didn't come in for the other games was because they weren't qualifiers. So himself and Aaron Connolly were just like ruling themselves out just purely down to the fact that they hadn't had a run of games like back to back, and they don't think they wanted to disrupt the form in which they were in, where for like friendlies, which like I mean, look at the Lithuania game, it was quite a dull game. I know we kept trying to score and stuff like that, but it was a bit of a dull fixture. Like it wouldn't matter who played. I don't think that even if Obafemi or that played, it would have made much of a huge difference in that game. So, I think getting them in the summer would be great, and then that just puts that stupid he's going to Nigeria stuff or he's going to play for England stuff. It just rubbishes that, and just we can get on with things, because there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, and I know that speculation started again in March, and because of the regulations now, he is actually eligible to switch. And I must admit, I know Michael has said he's committed to Ireland, but I was actually delighted Nigeria missed out in the World Cup playoffs in March, just in case.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really worried. But we'll wait and see, and obviously what happens with him in the summer and stuff like that. But I think he's a contender for player of the season. Josh Cullen as well, Mr. Consistent, got his club to a cup final as well. Has a respectable league position, and he's been brilliant for Ireland as well. You mentioned about Chidozie making the position his own. Josh Cullen arguably this season has made that position his own for good now. I think he's the first name on the team sheet, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't even. I mean, I'm not even sure who would actually take the position if Josh was injured.
I think Hourahan didn't he, in the game?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people that can kind of play there, but it's probably not even a natural position for Conor Hourahan. But I don't think there's anyone that's putting their hand up and saying, I should be in that role, or I should be there instead of Josh. If anything, it's more of a worrying point of view that that's the situation. But you're definitely right. I don't think there's any doubt about Josh Cullen's position in the Irish first 11. And as you say, one of the first names in the team sheet as it stands.
Yeah, I just see Wilfred Zaha. He's not very happy there at the Leeds captain. What is the story with Palace players wearing gloves at this time of year? But anyway, some of the players on our football team do that as well. It's like, what are you doing, lads? It's the end of April, like. Zach Costello says Dara Costello looks like a future star for Burnley. He was on the bench against Everton there the other week, and he scored against Villa's 23s tonight for Burnley 23s. So yeah, he looks like he could be a very good player, but I haven't seen. I honestly, I've never seen him play.
He played. I mean, I know he played League of Ireland with Galway at a very, very young age, but I don't think I've seen him. I certainly don't remember seeing him play anyway. And but yeah, great to see, and it's good to hear.
Yeah, long may that continue. I've just sorry. My player of the year, would probably be Will Keane, because you look at the number of goals he scored, and the number of assists he has, and you look at where Wigan are on the table. A large part of that is down to him. Yeah,
but if you're going to have your international player of the year, you have to do it you have to include national team form as well.
No, but it's over the course of the season. Like James McLean got into the team of the season last night for League One.
Yeah, I saw that, and that's a great achievement. But it is the level it's at, and it's also their. I think you would have to look at their national team form as well. And
of course, but Keane he done well the game he came on against Portugal, and arguably could have contributed to that goal that Matt Doherty scored. There was nothing really wrong with it. He did well in that game when he came on. Didn't get a whole lot of minutes. Didn't do great against Lithuania. I said that as well. I was kind of questioning whether he was up to it. But like, you gave Player of the Year to Chiedozie Ogbene for 6 games or whatever over the full year. I'm giving it for him for 40 odd games, and he was.
He made Chiedozie made a massive impact on the national team, and made it.
Yeah, but if you're going international player of the year, then yeah. But if you're going for Irish player to get your player of the season, it's different. It's a different argument.
Okay, I think we'll have to agree to differ on that one, but because if my view was, if you're going to start including or make club form a major part of this, then you need to look at the level the players are at as well.
Yeah, but I think at any level, Ogbene's playing at League One level.
I think Ogbene will be playing at a higher level and make a big difference at a higher level. I'm not even sure Will Keane will be in the squad in June.
Why?
If the likes of Michael Obafemi and Aaron Connolly are fit and available, I think they will be in ahead of him, and he may well be the one to miss out.
I think Scott Hogan would be.
I think they both could. Now, it may become a moot point because probably will have an injury or two, but and particularly as there are injury doubts. I know they're playing and getting game time, but they're also missing games with Michael Obafemi and Aaron Connolly.
Question for you then. So Troy Parrott played those games in Andorra last June, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're giving him from that year, is he in the argument then?
From the national team, probably not, but his recent MK Dons form, definitely he'd have to be in the argument. He's been flying for the last few months, and I think he'll definitely be in the squad in June because of his form with MK Dons.
And the goal he scored against Lithuania.
Yeah, obviously let's say a crucial goal. It was a friendly and it was Lithuania, but it was great for him to get that goal in the Aviva.
Well, I think it keeps the feel-good factor around the national team, doesn't it? Because I think if we draw that, there's a bit of gloom to it. You know what people are like.
It does help. It does help. But I mean, look, I was even talking to someone on Saturday night about Stephen Kenny, and they'd been at the Belgium game, and I think it was the first game in the Aviva. It was certainly the first game for quite a while, and their first Stephen Kenny game in the Aviva, and they were actually blown away by the fans' support for Stephen Kenny, and they hadn't experienced that before for a national team manager, and I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think we were always in support of him. We felt as though we had to be patient. And I just see people all the time still saying that about Kenny. They're like, oh, well, he hasn't won this game, he hasn't won that game. I was like, yeah, but he's building on something. Like, you can't just get results overnight. If you're just looking at it purely on results, I think if anyone's gone to the games, they've actually enjoyed the games a lot more. There's a lot more stuff that gets you on the edge of your seat. You're not just kind of going, oh, here's a set piece, let's get excited now. There's more patterns of play. There's more, set piece. There's more creativity from set pieces, rather than just a whipped ball. Like sometimes, especially under Anthony Barry, we had good set pieces from corners and stuff like that, and we obviously got the end results from them in the end. So I think he was obviously a big loss in that sense, but I still think we have good enough coaches and players now. And the funniest thing is, people are like, oh, we're shit. It's like a lot of our players, as you said there about the level we're playing, a lot of them are in League One and the Championship. There's very few that are at Premier League clubs, playing at Premier League clubs as well. There's Seamus and there's Matt Doherty and Nathan Collins now, and Shane Duffy is in and out with Brighton. But otherwise, you don't really look at any other club and you think, I know Evan Ferguson got a little bit of a run when things were kind of getting a bit tight for squads around January time. I think next year he'll get a more fairer crack of the whip, or else he'll go out on loan. But realistically, a lot of our players are playing lower league, and even when we had players playing Premier League, there was times when we struggled to qualify for tournaments. As you'll well know, you've been, going to a lot more Ireland games a lot longer than me, to know that. So for people to just expect us to have like an amazing team, I know like Wales and Northern Ireland have done well at times to get to tournaments with limited squads and stuff like that, but I'd rather go not as a I actually love the way we are at the moment, because we're such a good team. There's no real quality individual, but we are a really good settled team. I think that's fair to say, and I just think we're nice to watch in that sense, because the lads do try to give it their all for this team. So I think how did you miss that? Good tackle. So yeah, I think our team is very enjoyable, but it's because there's more of a unity than there is like a star player kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably a fair comment, but I think the pressure will be on now to get results.
Yeah.
In the Nations League to a reasonable extent, but certainly in the qualifiers for Euro 2024, because I think it is very important. I mean, qualifying has got a lot easier for the Euros now. There are 24 places up for grabs in Germany, and I think we should expect, particularly if we end up hosting Euro 2028, which does seem very likely, I would hope and expect that we would qualify for Germany. And the Nations League can be very important in that point. They can get us a better seeding for the draw in October. Ideally, to get a second seeding. If we win our group or get a very good second, we could be second seeds, which does avoid the possibility of the group we were nearly drawn into for Euro 2020. If people may remember the draw, we were actually drawn in with Germany and Holland, and we got bumped out of that group because there were only 2 hosts allowed in a group, and Northern Ireland actually ended up in our place. And if you're in a group with the likes of Germany and Holland with 2 to qualify, you're already effectively behind the 8 ball before you even kick a ball.
Yeah, I agree, but what can you do? I'm gonna just letting people know that we are live on YouTube and Facebook. What was I gonna do? So Stephen says, Andrew Omobamidele is meant to be getting a scan results soon about his back. I hope he can recover fully by the start of next season. Definitely out for the rest of the season, unfortunately. Yeah, hopefully he does get back, because I think it's a shame he didn't get to play more games in the Premier League. He obviously scored a goal against Leeds in the Prem for Norwich, a great goal as well, and he looked like he was starting to kind of really hit a good bit of momentum and form, a bit like Nathan Collins. The same thing probably happened to Adam Eade, actually. He was hitting a bit of form and he just got a bad injury, and unfortunately that's probably ruled him out. Zach actually comes in with a good question. He says, can I ask you what forwards you would pick for the Nations League? Okay, so you probably need about 6, I would say. 6 centre forwards, or is he saying wing forwards? I wonder.
I presume he means the 3 that we play up top, so what 3 you'd pick to start, and maybe what other ones you'd have in the squad. And 6 is probably a good shout, but maybe your 6 and your 3.
I'd say 8, because you have wide players as well. I would. I'm thinking of form here, and obviously they have to finish the season well. Michael Obafemi, number 1. He's our best striker at the moment. Troy, number 2. Robinson has to be in there as well, obviously. Scott Hogan has a lot of goals this season, but I just don't think he's up to international level. I think he's been given a fair few chances, unlike Will Keane hasn't been given that many. I'm going to put Will Keane in there. So how many is that? 4?
4 if you're not counting Scott Hogan, yeah.
Okay, I'm not counting Scott Hogan. 4. So they're pretty much kind of centre forwards, aren't they, that I've picked.
Well, Callum Robinson can also play wide, so you can play one of the wider positions or the...
Yeah. Benny as a wide forward, I think, has to be in there as well. because, as you mentioned, his goals and his overall performance and his overall contribution to the team since he's came in. He's always looked lively and looked a threat. I kind of want to put Aaron Connolly in there, but I kind of don't know what way he's going to finish the season. I just think he's always a threat when he could be on it. Whether he's on it or not is a different story. So, do I leave him out? Do I put him in? How many have I got now? 6?
That's 5, and I think it's 5, and you're debating Aaron Connolly.
Was Chio the 5th?
Yeah, you've
So now I'm on to 6 now.
Obafemi, Troy, Will Keane, Callum Robinson, and Ogbene.
Okay, McLean's a wing back now, so I wouldn't put him up there. I gotta put Connolly in there if he's fit.
Yeah.
So that's 6, yeah, and I've got 2 more. Oof, this is tough. This is tougher than I thought. Who else have we got now? I'm thinking about
Jason Knight would be the other one.
Would we play him in that position? Yeah, if we're playing him in that position, I'll put him in there then. Yeah, sorry. I was more thinking of him as a midfielder, but I got tackle. Then who else? So we're putting him in there. Who else have I got? I've got Scott Hogan, but I don't think he deserves it. So we got Knight, Alan Brown.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good shout for the 8 and the 3 starters.
The 3 start. Now you have to give your 8 now as well after this, by the way. My starters have been Robinson, Knight, and Ogbene. But if that happened to, you know what? I'd actually be torn between Troy and Obafemi to start, just because Obafemi hasn't started many games for Ireland. You know, that's the only reason. And Troy kind of has a feel and a knack to it now. So it's a difficult one, but like it's exciting in many ways because we actually have a few different options for once instead of just always going, you know, and I kind of leaving Shane Long out of that list as well, but I think his best days are behind him, to be fair. So Gary, that brings me to you.
Yeah, unless we're forgetting someone, I think my 8 would be pretty much the same 8.
Sean Maguire?
I don't think he's doing enough at the moment. I don't think Scott Hogan...
No, he just got subbed off there.
So, unless I'm forgetting someone...
O'Dowda?
Again, is he doing enough at club level? I don't think he's done enough to force himself back into the equation. So unless it's someone we've forgotten, you know, I think Scott Hogan could be the one to miss out. I think Will Keane does get in the 8 again, unless there's somebody else that we're forgetting. My front 3, I think Callum Robinson and Chidozie Ogbene are nailed on to be 2 out of 3. And I'd be inclined to go with Troy Parrott. Just on his recent form, I think he's still young as well. Great hope for the national team. And if we were picking the team to play in Yerevan, on current form and assuming everybody is fit and available, my 3 would be Chidozie Ogbene, Callum Robinson, and probably Troy Parrott. My still doubts about Michael Obafemi are it more suits him to play in a 2 rather than be the main man up front, kind of a target man with 2 kind of number 10s behind him.
But he has played in a 2, in like a 3-5-2. He has played like Benny and Robinson in that position.
He has, yeah, and that's another option. And the one thing I would say is, I mean, Michael Obafemi has scored goals at big clubs, at big places in the Premier League, the likes of Old Trafford, Stamford Bridge, etc. Crucial goals. And he's now banging form for Swansea, and he scored again at the weekend. So I'm sure Stephen is taking careful note of that. And I wouldn't be surprised if he started in Yerevan.
Yeah, well, like, if he's still banging them in like he has been, I'd have no argument with having them in there. You know what I mean? So I hope he does. Yeah, Troy. It just depends on how he finishes the season. I mean, he's been scoring some serious goals, like real serious quality finishes for MK Dons. The one against AFC Wimbledon, and then that one that he took down, I think, with his right foot and looped the keeper with his left foot, was unbelievable finish. I think he's gone up another level again since the international break. I think the best thing that ever happened to him off the back of last season was obviously the stuff against Andorra. The goals against Andorra, that I think that really set him up at another level. You could see the confidence was flowing through him as soon as he got the first goal, and then it just felt like there was a lot of a weight off his shoulders, and he just really grew in that game, and then took that confidence into the season, I felt. And I just hope he can continue.
The other thing to remember actually is, and it's probably being forgotten now because, look, he's flying, he's scoring goals, he did an assist as well at the weekend. Didn't actually see it, but I mean, he did get an assist for one of the MK Dons goals. But a thing that maybe just shouldn't be forgotten is, even when he wasn't scoring goals in the first half of the season, he was playing really well, and his manager was raving about his performance for the team, and the way he was sacrificing himself and the way he was creating chances and he was working so hard, which was really good to hear. And obviously he's just gone on now and added those goals and assists as well. So it's great to see, and he's still only 20, remember.
Yeah, and a lot of people wrote him off not that long ago, so it's great to see him. Speaking of Evan Ferguson, he is playing for Brighton at the moment. He just came off in an under-23 game. They are 2-1 down to Chelsea under-23s. Armstrong Okaflex scored again. They're beating Everton 4-3 in their under-23s game as well. He made it 4-3 with that goal there. So that's just the Irish, the Irish players that are playing tonight. In this game, if anyone's just joined us just to hear about this game, it is 0-0. It's the 43rd minute, and Zaha was being looked at there for an incident. He just put his hand out to try and stop, but basically just put his arm out and was looked at there, but nothing really happened from VAR by the looks of it. But this game's getting a bit feisty. I think Palace look really up for this game, but then again Leeds do too. That was a high foot there by Rafinha. I think when you have someone like Rafinha in your team, you've always got a chance of winning the game. He's class.
Yeah, he's quality. He really is. I don't, even if Leeds stay up, I don't see him being at Leeds next season. And definitely if they go down, there's no way he's playing in the Championship.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's gone either way, as you say. Same with a few Everton players, to be honest. Kind of want a few. Zach's given a couple of players that we may have forgotten, actually. Conor Ronan, Jamie McGrath, I'm just thinking now, and Ronan Curtis could be a couple of players that we forgot. Yeah. He did just say Conor Ronan, but I'm just thinking back of some players.
And Conor Ronan is a shout to be in the 8.
I'm just fixing the camera, you go on.
Yeah, I did actually forget about Ronan Curtis, but even having been reminded about Ronan Curtis and Conor Ronan, I don't think they would, or they wouldn't make my 8. Jamie McGrath's probably a different matter because he's not playing regularly for Wigan. He went at the wrong time probably, and he went into a team that was winning every week and playing so well. So I don't think Jamie McGrath breaks in June, but hopefully next season with Wigan in the Championship, he will get a pre-season and he will nail down a regular place, because I think he has definitely the quality to be in there. But for June, I wouldn't actually have I wouldn't have Darren Murphy either. But for June, I wouldn't have Jamie McGrath in because he just hasn't been getting the game time.
Yeah, I don't think he's one of those players that does need the game time, though. I think he'd be still someone who just turn up and he'd still do the business. He just strikes me as that type of player. But yeah, look, I think he does need to be playing regularly anyway. Hopefully next season he can break into that Wigan side, maybe have a good pre-season under his belt, kicks on and plays good in the Championship. It's half time now, 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Leeds. I'm just going to update that there on the banner. Oh, 1 sec.
I'll
few people
over and watch some of Preston and Blackburn. It's 4-1 Blackburn now. Actually, it's on 4:03 on Sky. Yeah, Travis has got the 4th goal, so that's done and dusted.
So they need to win one more game, and Sheffield need to. They need to win as well. They can't lose, basically. I think John Egan played all of their games as well.
Yeah, he's playing really well for them. I saw a tweet from Sheffield United just raving about him again during the week. Yeah, Sheffield United are 3 points ahead with 2 games to go. So 4 points. Well, Middlesbrough, of course, have a game in hand and they're back on 64. So they can get to 73. But even they're further behind in goal difference. You would think 4 points would do Sheffield United. Just let me look at their matches. Yeah, they've QPR away and then Fulham at home. It's a tricky run-in for Sheffield United. I'll just see who Blackburn have. Blackburn have Bournemouth at home and Birmingham away. So Bournemouth is a really tough one for Blackburn because they're obviously in the battle for automatic promotion. So maybe Millwall aren't out of it yet. I know Millwall have Peterborough at home and they've Bournemouth away on the last day. So yeah, there could be a few twists and turns in this one yet.
Another player who may have missed out on Player of the Year, and I think if Bournemouth get promoted, I think he's in with a huge chance, is Mark Travers. He's been brilliant.
He's been excellent, yeah. And Gavin Bazunu has been excellent too, and not just for Portsmouth, but for Republic of Ireland as well.
Yeah, but you're saying that he can't because of the level he's playing at, so fuck you.
Well.
No, Gavin's been brilliant, and hopefully we'll have him on the channel very soon as well, with a bit of luck at the end of the season. So it'd be interesting to see kind of where his head is at for next season and what he's thinking of doing regarding, is he going to go to a Premier League club? Will he go to Bundesliga or Serie A? Like they're all speculating. So I just hope he picks the right club, and I'm sure he will. But I'm just sure, hope he goes somewhere he'll just play and be first team player.
That's absolutely crucial. I mean, he has got a lot of first team experience already, but I don't actually think Man City would let him out to sit in the bench anywhere. Because frankly, looking at the FA Cup semi-final, I think he's certainly good enough to be number 2 at Man City these days.
Yeah, but I don't want him to be number 2. I'd rather he went out and he's playing. So
yeah,
I'd like for him to be in number 1 one day.
Yeah, obviously, but we go back to this argument again about Caoimhín Kelleher, who's working with some of the best coaches in the world in the setup in Liverpool, learning from one of the best goalkeepers in the world. And with the downside of that, he's not getting much game time. I mean, he's not even playing in the FA Cup. I don't think Caoimhín Kelleher will play again this season unless Alisson gets injured.
Yeah. That's the problem I have. I mean, with Bazunu, is that we need him playing as often and as regular as possible. And
as high
as Kelleher, but I think Mark Travers has been playing the most out of a lot of them, and he's still overlooked by the two of them, which is crazy in some ways. But look, I'm sure he'll get another chance to rectify that Serbia game. And I hope he does get a chance to do that, because I feel like that was quite harsh on him.
He's also, the other point is, at Bournemouth, he really has come on a lot, because even when he was last playing in the Premier League with Bournemouth, there were a few errors and stuff like that, and he had slipped down the pecking order. I think even by 2020, if I remember rightly, I actually saw Bournemouth play just before COVID hit, and he was third choice at that point, just as they were heading out of the Premier League. But he's bounced back from that. He's really improved his form, and he's now their unquestionable number 1. I think he will be if they go up to the Premier League, and I actually hope they do get the automatic promotion. I think it's more like Nottingham Forest, even rather than Huddersfield. Even though Forest are actually behind Huddersfield, I think Forest are probably the bigger threat. But it would be great if Bournemouth can just get over the line, because I always feel, if a team like Bournemouth, just in general in the Championship, if you've been second and been hunted down for so long, if you do end up slipping back into the playoffs, it's very hard to win the playoff from third. It's often a team comes in from fourth, fifth, or sixth to actually go up from the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Robbie Keane here on Monday Night Football. I'd be interested to hear what he's actually saying. I'd be interested to hear what he says at the end of it, because that's usually when they kind of go into some different stuff. But Jamie Carragher's pissing me off lately, so I don't really want to hear from him too much.
Yeah, Blackburn looking pretty much control here.
Yeah, I think with Travers, though, you're right. I'd love to see them go up, and then there's a good chance Robbie Brady will play in the Premier League, and same with Gavin Kilkenny with a bit of luck. So that'll be good, obviously.
There is one wide or one front player we didn't mention for June, Robbie Brady.
He's not done anything for a long time.
No, and he's not. And look, there's no way he would be in the 8, but certainly a fit Robbie Brady who's playing would be a huge asset. And as you say, if Bournemouth are in the Premier League and he does stay with them, but I would really like to see him back fit and getting game time, because he's been out for quite a while now.
Yeah, I feel like his Irish days are done. I'd be very surprised if I'm wrong on that, but it is what it is, unfortunately. If you're not playing, like, Stephen won't pick you, pretty much, which is
no, there's no way he should be picked at the moment, but he's still relatively young and he still has quite a few years left in him yet, if he can get fully fit and break into the Bournemouth team or whatever team.
Well, Barry says he hasn't seen him have a good game since 2016. Barry's usually not that negative, to be fair.
So
I don't know. I can't pick a moment out that I can kind of go, yeah, he was amazing there. Do you know that type of way? Like, normally I can, but this time around, I can kind of go. I can't really remember him having too many decent games. He's had bad injuries, in fairness to him.
I would be struggling as well, to be honest, since 2016, as Barry says,
Zach would like to see Connor Coventry in the squad for June. Yeah, I think there's a player who could come in and take Josh Cullen's place when he's not around, maybe longer term.
Exactly. Yeah, there is the ideal candidate for that position. He's been superb with the under-21s. The only thing I'd say I wouldn't like to see him in the squad for June is there are three massive qualifiers for the under-21s. Two of them in Tala on the June bank holiday weekend, on the Friday and the Monday, and tickets are on sale now. And if we win both those games against Bosnia and Montenegro, we are almost certainly guaranteed at least a playoff for the Euros, and with a possibility, if we can win the two of them, that we could still be going to Italy on the 14th of June looking for a win to qualify. We've never qualified for an under-21 Euros, and that would be something really special. I think that was one that definitely got away in 2020, and that Iceland game, I know you were at it, Paul, that Iceland game in Tala is a pretty one that we totally blew, frankly.
I think Obafemi started that game, to be honest.
Yeah, well, but anyway, that was a great chance, and it's great to be back in contention. Two superb wins against Sweden. I know we were both at the one in Tala, and a great win in Boras then in March. And Ollie O'Neill, late show.
That was a great win.
Yeah, it was. And
he did a great interview after as well, I thought his interview was quite good. Because he was just so happy,
Yeah. But so I'd actually like to see Conor Coventry stay with the under-21s. And if you think of it, the number of players Stephen has in the senior squad that Jim Crawford would certainly do it as well. So I'd hope he wouldn't lose too many more. Because we have to be capable of beating Bosnia and Montenegro, and that should guarantee a playoff, with Sweden playing Italy, and then who knows after that.
Yeah, well, I think sorry, got a notification there. What was that last thing you finished up on?
just the under 21s that we
Oh yeah, so
should be capable of beating Bosnia, Montenegro, and
yeah, we should. But I think you're right in what you're saying about Conor Coventry. I think he's more beneficial to the 21s right now, and then maybe look at from September maybe onwards, and where he is at club level wise. At that stage, you know, if MK Dons can maybe get up and get promoted, maybe that's through the playoffs or whatever, then maybe him and Troy go back there on loan for another season in the Championship. That would be really good, I think, for both players. And I think with Warren there as well, they have the three of them together, and they seem to get on great. And obviously they're kind of the spine of that team at the moment. So if they could get those back in an ideal world, I wouldn't really like them to stay in the League One. I'd rather them I'd rather them to go up a level for next season, or if Conor Coventry can break into the West Ham squad in place of Mark Noble. But I doubt it. I'd say David Moyes will bring someone in because they should have a good bit of money, you know, considering where they're going to probably finish, and if they win the Europa League, or if they even finish the Europa League, they'll be able to attract a lot of good players as well. So as well as to cash in on Declan Rice, probably see a lot of players come in as well. So
well, he's the obvious replacement for Declan Rice as well. But if West Ham do win the Europa League, as you said, they're in the Champions League next season, which would be pretty phenomenal, and that would actually give them a chance of keeping Declan Rice. Although I think he's rebuffed just about all the contract offers. I'm basically shocked he wouldn't be loyal to West Ham. But anyway, that's
a story for another day.
Yeah.
Seamus says he'll be too old for this 21s after this campaign anyway. Yeah, but we're just saying that there's no point in taking him out of that situation when he's the captain there and he's their leader, and we don't really have a real need for him right now. I just don't think we do.
No, but I mean, there's the games in June. There's potential playoffs.
No, but the senior team don't need him, is what I'm saying.
Don't need him, yeah. So he could have under 21 games for at least another 15 months if we qualify for the finals, which are next June 2023. I think they're in Romania and Georgia, if I remember correctly. Some of them will correct me anyway if I've got that wrong.
Could be some year, you know, if the women make the World Cup and the under 21s.
Yeah, it's. The women are looking really good for a playoff in that would be in October, and potentially another playoff in February next year to get to the World Cup, which is in July-August 2023 in Australia and New Zealand. And it would be absolutely amazing. Our women have never qualified for a major finals, and they have a real chance. That would be incredibly difficult. Even if they get the playoffs, it would be incredibly difficult. They'd have to win two single, probably. I think there's virtually no chance of getting a top three, so the women would need to win two playoffs in UEFA, and if they were unlucky, even after winning the two playoffs, they may end up in the world playoff with other countries around the world.
That's really ridiculous.
It's really complicated. So I have actually studied this. So the nine European runners-up will go into playoffs. So the top three, based on points, will get a bye to the finals, and then the other six will play each other. Now, we would definitely be in the six. Whoever comes out of our group, I think it's almost mathematically impossible. There are results, but given the way women's football goes, I don't think there's a lot of results that possibly, if everything fell for us on a really good day and we won our last three matches, we possibly could get into the three. But realistically, we're in the six, and other teams in there, off the top of my head, the likes of Austria will be in there, Wales, there are Serbia probably. There are definitely winnable games in the six. So if we were to win our game, whoever we were drawn against, then we'd be up against one of the top three nations, and they're all pretty tough ties. I think it's the likes of Switzerland and Iceland off the top of my head. So they would be tough games to win, but we have a chance. And then, even if we win those two games, there'll be three European qualifiers, and the lowest ranked of the European qualifiers goes into this world qualifier in Australia, New Zealand in February next year. And we'd have to beat a team from Africa or Asia or somewhere like that. The good thing is about that, if we did get that far, is we'd be hot favourites to actually come out of it, because European women's football is significantly stronger than the types of countries that will be coming in at that level. There are obviously very strong teams around the world, like the USA, Canada, Brazil, Japan, etc. But none of those are going to be in this playoff. So we would be up against one of the lesser nations. So if we can get out of Europe, we have a great chance of getting to the World Cup, but it's going to be very tough.
That sounds incredibly complicated and incredibly frustrating for the Irish women if they do even do well in these things. But hopefully it's worth overcoming all that to get a spot there. But I'm just looking at the comments here. We actually skipped over this one. He just said, do you think Travers will keep his place in first team at Bournemouth if they're in the Premier League next season? I mean, I don't see why, considering he's helped them get up, I don't see why he wouldn't, but I imagine they will get a backup, whether that's a higher level backup who will come in and play and allow Travers to be backup, or whether that's someone who comes in to just play second fiddle to Travers. So you don't know is the honest answer. If you're asking what I'm hoping for, it's that Rafinha's in here. Oh, good block. I'm hoping that he could be the number one for Bournemouth, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he's a very good chance, because he, as I was saying earlier, he has come on in leaps and bounds, and he's playing really, really well with Bournemouth, and they're really impressed with him. So I don't see why, if they do go up, that they would look to change him. As you say, they probably will get an experienced goalkeeper. I think a lot of teams now and a lot of keepers, like even Darren Randolph, can make a career of this and at 32, 33, 34, become kind of a backup keeper and playing the League Cup and the FA Cup, etc. So I would expect that he would at least start next season as first choice, because he is playing so well. So why would you change it?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. But you know the way sometimes with goalkeepers, it's just such a sensitive position as well, that sometimes they do that. I think when he went down last year, Begovic started ahead of him a lot of the time, and he had to bide his time, and he took his chance when he got it. And to be fair to him, he's been quality, as he said. Barry says, I hope hopefully Knight will get picked up by a Championship or Premier League club. Yeah, if Everton stay up, I'd love him. Excuse me, I'd love him at us, to be honest with you. But that's a hypothetical thing right now. I would like to see him at Everton if Everton go down, because it's going to be very, 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 very hostile. I think for a lot of Everton players next season, if that is the case, and it won't be a nice place to play your football, I don't think, especially if Everton get off to a bad start next season, if they are to be relegated. I can't believe I'm even contemplating that, but it is what it is.
The other issue, which is going to be huge for Everton if they do go down, is there aren't, I mean, the likes of Burnley and Watford and Norwich all have, I imagine Leeds do as well, they all have the relegation clauses in players' contracts, and the wages contracts will be adjusted. Everton don't have that, and that would be hugely damaging if they go down. And there will be players, obviously, that will want to leave, but there will also be players who will stay and maybe not have the commitment and the battling qualities to get Everton out of the Championship. So it could be very damaging financially for Everton if they go down.
Like Jack Rodwell for Sunderland.
Yeah.
Seamus says, credit to you, Gary, for remembering all that with the women's stuff.
Thanks, Seamus.
So fair play. We'll wait for more comments. Can you guys get your comments in, especially if you're new? Get your comments in, we'll discuss them. It's a quiet night on YouTube. People just must be watching it on the telly. Just seeing here if you're getting any comments. Sometimes the phone is quicker than the computer. Oh, Jason, there you are, on the telly, Gary. No one sent in a super chat. Sort that out. Yeah, this game's hopefully going to come to life now soon. It looks like they're trying to get Rafinha in around the back here a lot of the time. But I'm still hopeful that Palace win this game. Ooh, that was a dirty tackle. Dan James.
Just looking at a couple of interesting results around Europe. Juventus were a goal down at Sassuolo. There is a fantastic title race in Italy. I don't know if anyone's following it too closely, but Milan got a last gasp winner against Lazio, and they've gone 2 points ahead of Inter, who have a game in hand, and Napoli absolutely blew it. They were 2 up against Empoli with a few minutes to go, and they managed to lose 3-2. So it's a 2-horse race. The title is going to Milan, but which half of Milan? It's going to be a fascinating finish. And just the UEFA Youth League final was on today, and Benfica beat Salzburg 6-0. Very impressive for Benfica, and just the talent they're producing, and they consistently produce. Not just in Portugal, they seem to get the best players from South America and everything. And what a model they've got there. I know they're not doing too well in the league in Portugal, with Porto having the league effectively won already. But what a model they have for producing young players and bringing them through.
Yeah, I think Benfica are quality. They also have really good South Americans as well. I hope see that AC Milan team. A lot of those players were players that came over and played against Rovers. That are still playing with them now.
Yeah.
But someone in the comments says, "Hey lads, Newcastle and Shamrock Rovers, Cork City fan here, Noel Burke. Hi Noel, how are you? Barry has a good question for you, Gary. Well, it's not for you, it's for both of us, but I'm going to just give it to you. Any additions you'd like to see in the June squad?"
Well, the obvious one we talked about already is Michael Obafemi. I'd definitely like to see him in the squad, and also Aaron Connolly if he's fit. I think Aaron offers us something which we don't have otherwise, and it's not too long ago that he would have been considered an automatic starter for us. But they're the two that obviously spring to mind. Maybe Jimmy Dunn from QPR's maybe been a little bit unfortunate. It's just we're so well stacked at centre back, and maybe Jimmy's more of the old-fashioned style centre half, not the Stephen Kenny style player, for want of a better word. But they're the ones that strike me anyway.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Dunn's in with a shout. It remains to be kind of seen though. It depends on injuries and stuff like that. He obviously got his chance just down to the fact that Lenihan got injured in the last international window. But yeah, I think Jimmy Dunn's really came on. I think he looked good at Burnley, even during the lockdown and stuff like that. When he came in and played Premier League, he looked comfortable at that level. Great ball here by Palace. Zaha's on it. Oh, good tackle. But I think it was Luke Ayling. He's going for a corner. He's appealing for a penalty there.
For a penalty, huh?
Yeah, it was Luke Ayling. He's a good player. That was a great ball, but I think it was Eze. But
no, it's not a penalty. He got the ball clearly.
Oh yeah. No, I've never felt like it was a penalty. He was just claiming.
Another shout actually for June is Denny McNamara of Millwall. He's having a fantastic season at the moment.
And McDoherty out, yeah. Yeah, no, I think that is a good shout. Yeah. The only thing is, he's kind of a bit hesitant at playing anyone else on that kind of right. He'd probably go with Cyrus Christie, to be honest with you.
I think he probably will, given that he's still he's a real quality athlete as well, and he's
Zaha. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, just his size, a real quality. He's a real athlete as well, really athletic. So he probably will be the person to start if Matt Doherty is out. I don't know if Matt Doherty's 100% gone for June yet. I know it's not looking good, but is there still a chance? I'm not 100% sure on that, but
I think he is out. I think they said he
Is
was
it
out.
100%? Okay, yeah.
Nothing's ever 100% in international football. Apologies for my dog barking in the background there. He must someone must be outside the house or something. But yeah, where are we? He says, Niles, I'm the admin for the gaming revival. Great seeing support for Irish soccer. Seamus says, how's Aaron Connolly getting on at Borough? I think he was doing alright at the start, and then he had some stupid shit in the paper about having a rift with his missus or something. And I don't remember, I haven't seen him for any good headlines in recent games or the last while, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not up to date with the last few weeks, actually. I haven't. As you said, when they were on their good cup run, he was involved, and he got the odd goal and assist. But I'm not really sure in recent weeks. They haven't been on my radar. I know they still have a good chance of the playoffs. They have a game in hand.
Yeah, I just don't think he's been doing too much, to be fair. But he hopefully can finish the season strongly. I think he needs it for himself. Niall says, quick one, lads. If any talent you think will be pushed to the Premier League and Championship next year, Ogbene would be one. Jason Knight would probably be the other for the Premier League. Otherwise, I can't think of too many off the top of my head. Maybe Troy for the Championship next year. What about you, Gary?
Yeah, they're probably the obvious ones. Gavin Bazunu as well will be playing at a higher level, I think, next season. Who else to watch out for? Another one is Festi Ebezelli. I know he's gone to Udinese, but he looked a real talent. He's really athletic. Another option at wing back, and it might be a big ask for him to break into the Udinese squad, but you never know. I think they've links with Watford as well, isn't it? So he could end up back in I suppose the Championship if we're talking Watford.
Yeah, possibly on loan or something. Niall says might be good for the Brighton boys, Connolly, Ferguson to head out on loan. Yeah, although I think Brighton are decent enough at bringing players through, and I think if Ferguson's doing well, as Graham Potter's been saying this season, then I don't see any reason why he can't stay there and try and become an option for them. It's all well and good him going to like a League One club, but I actually think he's better than some of the other strikers we have at their age when they were at their club. So I think Evan will probably possibly stay there. But we'll see. It's going to be a big summer, I think. Walker Magnum says hopefully Mark Travers will be a Premier League starter every week. Yeah, we spoke about that earlier. That's what the hope is. That's what our hope is. But then you look at that, yeah, if he's a starter in the Premier League every week and Kelleher's the backup for Liverpool, and say Bazunu, just say for example he goes to a Championship club and Travers is playing week in week out in the Premier League, how can you justify not playing him? Is the only thing I'd say. It's a crazy situation. And it's unfortunate, because obviously the goalkeeper, you can only be one player who plays that one position, unfortunately, because if it was centre half or whatever and the three of them were so good, they'd all play, It's just unfortunate in that sense for them, in a personal sense. For us, it's quite good because we know that we've 3 good goalkeepers. But for them, it's not so good,
It's amazing for us, and as you said, the 3 real quality keepers. I think Gavin Bazunu stays as number 1 though, unless things change, because he's playing really well for club and country. So it'd be very hard to make a case, even if Mark Travers, and I hope he is playing regularly in the Premier League. But you also have to watch out for injuries and everything, and who knows what's around the corner.
That's true. Our illness, as Gavin Bazunu figured out in the last international window. John James coming off here now. It's getting to that stage now where we need a goal in this game.
Yeah, you wonder, 0-0 might actually suit both teams. The edges Palace just another point closer to safety, and gives Leeds that small little cushion again against Everton and Burnley. But a winning goal would be absolutely massive for either team.
It would be It'd be massive for Leeds, I think, more so. I think Palace are safe.
I think if they got the winner, they'd definitely be. I think 38 points will probably be safe enough in the end. But they probably. I think Southampton are definitely safe on 40. But Palace will be on 38 with a win, with still 5 games to go. I have to look at their fixtures, but they might need another point or two.
Palace play Everton.
Yeah, they've Aston Villa away, Everton away, and then Man United. Sorry, they've Watford at home, Southampton away, Watford at home, Villa away, Everton away, and Man United at home. So yeah, you'd have to. Palace won't go down, but I think until they pick up another couple more points, the fans will still be just that little bit nervous because they'd want to be incredibly unlucky given the number of clubs behind them and the points total they have. Frankly, I don't think Third Bottom will reach 38 points. I think if I'm looking at the table now, I think something like 37 points. Villa on 37 points. If they got another point or two, they'll be all right. What do you reckon? Do you have a points total in mind that Everton need, Paul?
They need to win 4 games, they need to win 3 games and at least 2 draws, I think. So whatever we're on now, I think it's 30.
That's 40. You're looking for 40 points. I don't think it needs to be as high as 40.
We just need to worry about winning games and not worry about anyone else. As I said, it's in our own hands to stay up. But we have to win football games, and that's what it's all about. So yeah. But we've been absolutely shit this season. Seamus thinks 36 or 37 points would be enough to stay up this season.
Yeah, I'm looking at here. I think 37 will be okay. You might be sweating on 36.
Yeah, look, I'm at the stage now.
I think definitely you'll be safe on 38. 38
oh, Palace are in here.
38 for Everton would be 3 more wins.
Yeah.
3 wins in 6 games. You know.
If we went unbeaten between now and the end of the season, which is not very likely, but if we did, we'd stay up. We've played all our really hard fixtures. Like the Liverpool one was a dead rubber, and I think getting that one out of the way, everyone knew we were going to lose that game. Now, in fairness, if referees' decisions had went our way, with Mane getting should have been sent off because he struck 2 players in the face. If another player did that, he'd be sent off straight away. So I don't care.
If Mane had been fouled in the same way that Gordon was fouled, in fact, if any that against any other club, in fact, in the Premier League, that's a penalty.
I'm glad you said it.
No, it is. I mean, it is a penalty, and I mean, it's 14 months since Liverpool last conceded a penalty, and it's becoming a bit of a joke at this point. Some of the decisions they're getting from, I mean, VAR is meant to even all of this out. I mean, that was a penalty. There's no even Jamie Carragher, who was totally biased. He admitted it was a penalty.
Oh man, I can't even watch Sky Sports anymore. It's just Liverpool TV. It's so annoying. Like I literally, it's the most biased thing ever. Like between Carragher and Souness, it's mainly just Man United and Liverpool that they have on it. And someone made a great point. It's usually when it's Monday Night Football, it's not really about the game that's actually on. It's about what Carragher and Neville want to discuss about their clubs. That's usually what comes on, and it's just really annoying.
In fairness to Neville, I think I hated him as a player, but I think he is actually. I like him as a pundit. I think he is pretty fair. I don't think he's as biased towards Man United as Carragher is towards Liverpool.
Yeah, he's not, but it does always become a Man United discussion or a Liverpool discussion. Ultimately, they bring it back.
Okay. They do bring it back to their own clubs. I appreciate that, but I think Neville can be.
Yeah, I agree. He can be, but not very often.
Okay. Just looking at Everton's fixtures, Paul, and I wouldn't want to be going to the Emirates on the last day looking for anything.
No, I think if we are doing that, we're done.
Yeah. Arsenal's form has been a bit flaky, but they've really come good lately again.
We actually beat them away from home. Demarai Gray goal cracker in the last minute.
Right. You got two late goals, wasn't you? Were a goal down late on, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, that's right. Andre Gomez came on and he set up someone, and then Gray just got that. He just took off and scored a cracker.
But before that, though, you've got, as you said, Chelsea are hot and cold a bit. Better away than at home, though. Leicester away will be difficult on the 8th of May.
Yeah, drew with them 1-1 there last week, yeah.
But I mean, another late goal, wasn't it?
Last minute.
Watford away, Brentford at home, Palace at home. Those 3 games, all of those are very winnable. And
But Palace did beat us 4-0 in the cup.
They did, but Palace will probably be safe at that point as well, and they might already be on the beach.
True, like Southampton were for Burnley.
So,
or was it Southampton? There was someone they picked.
They beat Southampton. Yeah, that was their before Wolves. They beat Southampton 2-0. I didn't see the game, so I can't comment how Southampton played.
They should have been 3-0 up. In the first 20, and then they just Burnley took over.
Preston Blackburn has gone into the 90th minute anyway. It's still 4-1.
There's good comments coming in now. Surely Chelsea will give Frank and Everton at least a point after all these years of service. You'd never know, Walker. You'd never know. We tend to do well against Chelsea at home. It's just I actually think Tuchel is the best manager. Well, not the best manager, sorry, because Pep and thing are class. But you look at the difference in what he did when he came in last season when Lampard went. He was just so good. Like, the way he had Chelsea playing, it's no surprise they won the Champions League. I actually thought they were going to kick on and win the league this year. They looked that good when he did come in originally.
I think the injuries to Reece James and Ben Chilwell were they came at the wrong time, because you might remember Chelsea were actually top of the league. They were 3 points clear back in November, and losing both wing backs, and they don't have replacements of anything like that level of quality. And Chilwell's out for the season. James has been in and out. He hasn't played that much, and I think that's been crucial. Chelsea are in a battle for fourth as well. They're not guaranteed Champions League football either. But as you say, Everton have a good record, and Chelsea are not playing well. They were very lucky to beat West Ham on Sunday with a 90th minute goal, and one of the worst penalties of the season from Jorginho a couple of minutes before that.
Well, yeah, but like, I didn't see that penalty, but I hear people talking about it earlier. But I think if he puts it in a different corner and he makes the keeper look like an idiot, it's not a bad penalty. So it's just one of them.
But the keeper, as they say, could have thrown his cap on that one. It was really, he just kind of rolled it, and very close to the keeper as well.
I must see it back, but yeah, look, I think Chelsea, you just never know. Barry says, for a club like Everton to go down is bad for the league. I feel for you, lad. They're hands down the worst run club in the Premier League. Yep, you're dead right there. Seamus thinks that Burnley can beat Villa twice, and he's a Villa fan. I hope you're wrong.
I don't know. I wouldn't be so sure of that. I think Villa are still decent enough. They've got. I know they've had a couple of bad. They took an awful hammering from Tottenham, but they've got some quality players there. Coutinho is still a quality player, and I would expect Villa to, particularly at home in the home game against Burnley, to put on a show for their own fans.
Do you know who I could see joining Villa in the summer? Suarez.
Oh, okay. Probably a good shout. Yeah.
I just think if Coutinho will go back from his loan, but I think if you can get Coutinho to go there from Barca, I think he could get. Is that a penalty?
Penalty shout.
Corner. That'll be looked at.
The VAR never tends to give those, though.
Well, they don't at Anfield.
No, I wouldn't. He kind of.
It's
I don't
soft.
think. Yeah, VAR would. If the ref gave it, I don't think VAR would have overturned it. But I don't see. Yeah, VAR won't give it. It's not. There wasn't enough there.
It's checking, he said there on the. It's. Well, he does.
Yeah, he's not going to give it.
No, it's over.
I think Gallagher kind of put his leg into him. No, there was no ball. The Leeds defender didn't get the ball, but I think
He didn't dive though.
no, he didn't dive, but he kind of put his leg in,
What an awful corner.
kind of playing. But yeah,
And he's just laughing. Anyway, Jaden is a Burnley fan, and he needs Palace to win. Paul, we need Palace to win. I'm a Burnley fan, and he asks me.
I'd agree with that. From an Everton and a Burnley point of view, a Palace win is definitely the best result.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make by any means get safe. But
Zaha's running the show here now. Yeah, no, I agree. I support Everton, Jaden, in case you didn't know. But yeah, I think the longer the game goes on, it looks more like Palace are going to score. But it's football; you just never know.
It looks to me like 0-0 has for a long time. Now go on, prove me wrong. Someone's going to score.
You think it's going to finish 0-0? Sorry.
Yeah, it looks a 0-0 game, but it has been for quite a while, I think, to me.
I think Palace are the only one who actually look likely to score, though. They're the only one trying to get the ball into the box and try and do something with it. Leeds have defended well.
They have, but they haven't. I don't think they've opened Leeds up enough, you know. It's not as if the keeper's making any great saves or the clearing ones off the line or anything like that. It's say you're probably right with the possession and territory or something like that. It's well, here we go, Zaha on the ball, but
And he gives it out to Eze. His crossing tonight's been poor. Oh, he was in here, I think. It's Gallagher. Oh, great block again. He's trading, says, I feel sorry for you, though. You have a good side, and if anything, Leeds should go down. But we've been poor this year, and that's what happened when Rafa Benitez took James Rodriguez away and Luka Dean away, and they were our two creative players. And then we obviously know that other fella from Iceland, what he was up to, so he hasn't played all season either. So you take away three players who are arguably the three creative players, then Everton really, really struggle, and it's no surprise why they have struggled to create goals and chances and stuff so far. But Mikalenko's actually done well in the last couple of games. He had Salah in his pocket last night or yesterday, and he's come on good. Although he was quite nervous at the start when he first came in, but like considering everything that's going on in his country and all, he's been absolutely fantastic, to be honest with you. Anthony Gordon's been quality as well.
He has been quality. He looked, and he was another one that was. I don't think he's eligible anymore for us, but he was eligible for Ireland.
Yeah, but like,
I know. It's not going to
clutching at straws. Are you in trouble there?
No, it's okay. Just a call. It's I'll call him back after the match.
You should text him and say, "Can you not see him live on bleeding YouTube here? Sort yourself." So Noel says, does Jeff Hendricks still have the same passion? He's on 40k a week, and Newcastle United starting for QPR now. I think he was doing all right at QPR. I don't know whether he's injured or whatever, but
yeah, I don't know. I thought he'd been doing all right, but the QPR have fallen off a cliff. They were in the shout for automatic promotion a few weeks ago, and they're virtually out of the shout for the playoffs now. They've had some terrible results, home and away, and I don't know what's happened there or what's gone on, but they're just going to finish in mid-table now in the championship. Substitution here for Leeds. Rodrigo's gone off.
Yeah, I thought it was Bamford originally. Jaden says, tell you something, the Cornet will leave us and that will be bad for us. Yeah, he probably will. He looks like a good player. Barry's asking how Coleman got on the match. Yeah, he was quite good. He struggled when Diaz came on. He just seemed to, it kind of unsettled him a little bit, I thought, when he came on, because they went with like a 4-2-4, at that stage. So it was just it was difficult for Everton to get any sort of a hold in the game, just because they had Origi, Diaz, I think Salah and Jota all on at the same time, and that's how they got their goal. But yeah, he done well. He didn't look out of place, like someone was saying earlier. The Spurs Irish Society, or whatever they're called, were saying that he was terrible. But
I thought actually Everton defended really well and played really well on Sunday, and unfortunately Liverpool were just relentless, and they got the first goal from Robertson, and that changed the game. But even then, there were chances. Everton looked dangerous on the break, and had the penalty been given, which it should have been, it could have been a different result.
And the red card.
And the red card from Anna, yeah.
But as well, if that penalty was given, arguably that player could have been sent off too, Matip. So
no, it wasn't a clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity. Thought it was a penalty, but I don't think it was a red card.
I think he got booked as well, though. Anyway,
maybe okay, it could have been a second yellow. Sorry, I wasn't up on the bookings. He could have given me a yellow for giving away the penalty, but not a straight red.
Shaden's asking where will Dyche go. It'd be classic if Everton got him in now, and Rafa went to Burnley.
It wouldn't be a bad shout, actually. Dyche he did some job there. He's a quality manager, you know.
Yeah. Donica says Anthony Gordon looks a good player. A few of those Everton players are just phoning it in, though. I don't know. There's players there who obviously have great ability and haven't been putting it in. Like Richarlison missed some amount of sitters at Leicester. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's been missing for a large part of the season, and he was a huge part of last year, scoring goals and stuff like that. His quality then when he went away with England. And then he's just been injured a lot all season. We actually have missed Tom Davis, believe it or not. I know people will say we won't. Sorry, just looking at Zaha here. But people will say that we haven't missed Tom Davis, but we actually have someone to be in that sitting holding midfielder. Fabian Delph's been a bit of a loss as well. So, yeah, look, I'd love to be able to stay up and then get rid of a lot of dead wood in the summer. That would be great. But Everton really need to turn the screw now and start getting results, because it's getting increasingly like the result against Burnley made you think, oh wow, we're done here, you know. But then the result against Man United,
probably a game you should have won. But in fairness, I don't think any of them, well, definitely not against Liverpool, were phoning it in. There was certainly great commitment there and energy and everything, and it was a tough game. You were obviously under pressure for virtually the whole game, and but the only thing I would say is the likes of Burnley are more used to being in a relegation battle, and this will be new for the Everton players. Whereas for Burnley, it's just Burnley would have been expecting at the start of the season to be in a relegation battle. It was a good effort there from Gallagher. That wasn't far away.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's players there that they have been. I think, who would I say was
inches away? That would have been some goal.
Technique though, class.
He's class. He's another guy that actually was eligible for us. That is a point actually. We're missing out in the days of Jack Charlton. Not just the likes of Conor Gallagher or Anthony Gordon, but even the likes of Harry Maguire, Harry Kane could well have been playing for us. No way he would have let Declan Rice get away. Jack Grealish, you know, if you look at even the James Maddison, if you look at the players in the England squad and even the England first 11 that are eligible for us, and even the ones we had, we've missed out on a lot of quality.
Yeah, but I don't think their heart was ever really set on playing for Ireland full time. You know, I think this maybe Rice did for a while. Maybe he thought he never had a chance playing for England, and then Gareth Southgate told me he would. But I hate him anyway.
Yeah, I think that the Southgate bringing him to St George's Park was a crucial part in that. Look, another one we can talk about is Stephen Ward, just retired from football, and what came out in that WhatsApp call in 2018, and what Declan Rice witnessed. No, Declan wasn't involved in it, but what he witnessed involving Harry Arter and Jonathan Walters definitely wouldn't have helped in his commitment to Ireland. And then following on from that, Gareth Southgate brings him around St George's Park and says, I see you having a key role in the England side. And I think that's what turned him.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Which, if you take away the kind of the patriotism of it, you can maybe understand it to a certain extent, but you can still never forgive him.
Oh no, I'm not saying I'll forgive him, but I can understand why it happened. And I don't think he'll have any regrets. He played in the Euros, played in the Euro final. He'll be going to the World Cup in November. He'll be, if he's fit, he'll be England's starting central midfielder.
Yeah, well, he's their best centre mid.
Yeah.
This game's getting a bit boring now. There's 10 minutes left and it's still 0-0. Seamus says even if Harry Maguire wanted to play for us, he wouldn't get a game. I actually think Harry Maguire is a good player. There's no surprise why he's gotten to a World Cup semi-final and Euros final.
Euros final, yeah. Look, you're talking about people talking about people phoning it in, and I wouldn't agree with it at Everton, but I certainly would at Manchester United, and that's not actually at Harry Maguire, but there are other players, not doing it, and there's huge issues at Man United, and I think Harry Maguire, his confidence is shot to bits, and it's pretty toxic at United. And even the comments by Jesse Lingard, I don't know who else actually, somebody else had comments out of the dressing room as well. And that's things seem to be pretty bad there. But it's not helping Harry Maguire, but I think he'll come back. He is a really good centre half, and he probably will end up starting for England in the World Cup this year.
Yeah, I can't understand the level of abuse he gets. But I don't watch United that much, to be fair, anymore. I just get fed up watching because they're not a particularly good team to watch.
No, I mean they have Ronaldo up front, who is still a quality player and some goal scorer, but some of the performances. And I will single out someone if you want me to. Actually, is Paul Pogba, because I think he's been a disgrace with somebody with that talent. And if you watch him playing for France. And he's going to be top quality for France in the World Cup, but I mean his United performances have been pathetic, and I don't know. It sticks in my I've no love for Man United, but it sticks in my throat to see him walk away for free and pick up some massive contract wherever he goes, Juventus or PSG or Real Madrid. I don't know what the latest is. I'm out of touch with that one, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah, no, I think he will probably go to PSG. It's France. It's a lot of money, but it's the second time he's gone for free. So
actually, talking about PSG, I don't know if you saw it the weekend. They won the league at home against 10-man Lens, and Lens are a great club, by the way. Fantastic atmosphere if you want to see a good game in France. But Lens got a late equaliser. PSG only needed a point for the title. But their own fans walked out and wouldn't let the PSG team have a lap of honour. They're just so disgusted with their season. And it says something when you win the league and your own fans are still disgusted with you. But I know that goes back to the Real Madrid game in the Champions League.
Why? What happened there?
Well, in the Champions League, they just, they won in Paris 1-0. They were totally in control. They went up ahead in Madrid. And Benzema got the 3 goals in about 10 minutes, but basically PSG capitulated in that game, and they were very poor. And so, look, they're winning the French league at a canter. They're just too strong for everybody else. But their fans, even though they were there, they won the league at home on Saturday night. Fans all walked out, even a lot of them walking out before the final whistle. And they were left with an empty stadium when they were actually there to collect the trophy. So they didn't even do the lap of honour. And things seem to be pretty toxic there. Actually, I think their Qatari owners are looking at selling up as well, and I don't think the fans are happy with the board they have.
It's crazy though, because if you look at it, like the players that they've been brought in, they've been spoiled in terms of the players that they have. I mean, to get Lionel Messi to your club and Sergio Ramos, two of the best players to ever play the game. And they've had other players of quality as well.
Well, Mbappe is arguably the best in the world at the moment, or right up there, you know. They've Neymar as well. He gets a bit of criticism, but he's still a top player. I mean, to have Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe as a front three.
Yeah.
Ramos, as you said, phenomenal players, and that's why I think the fans were really disappointed with their pretty tame Champions League exit. I mean, I don't know if you remember back the game when they played Real Madrid in Paris. I mean, Real Madrid just parked the bus. It was absolutely amazing to see a team like Real Madrid playing like Everton did at Anfield, and it was just parking the bus hoping for 0-0. And just because of the quality, PSG, they won. They eventually got the breakthrough. They got I think it was a penalty from Mbappe in the end, if I remember rightly. And then they went to Madrid, scored, went ahead, and thought, game over. But Real Madrid came back with that Benzema hat-trick. And I don't think their fans have forgiven them for that. It was phenomenal from Real Madrid, who are... I know they're running away with the Spanish league, but they haven't looked that impressive in the Champions League. And they could still win the Champions League, of course.
Yeah, my mate Carlo, the manager.
Yeah, he's some manager, as you know.
He is now, to be fair. Could do with him now. But yeah, Niall's heading off. He's chat later, lads. First time tuning in, won't be the last. And Barry agrees regarding the toxicity in that United dressing room start with Pogba celebrate Mourinho getting sacked. Possibly. I don't like Pogba anyway. I think he's a bit of a fool, and his agent's an even bigger fool. Raiola. Oh, yeah. Could be in here now. Oh, good save. Gallagher, I thought was going to score there. I hope he's injured for the game against Everton. No doubt he'll be the one that scores against Everton.
He does look a quality player, actually.
I don't think he gets into that Chelsea team because I think Mason Mount is better than him.
Yeah, you can make room for the two of them, surely.
Nah, not with Ziyech and all the rest of them that they have, that Pulisic and all that. And Havertz as well. Where does he fit in? Like,
yeah, well, even all of those that you mentioned don't start every week either, you know. So there certainly is, but he certainly would be in the squad and would be in. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see does he go back next season. I'm sure Palace would love to hang on to him.
Yeah, I think Palace should break the bank to sign him and build a team around him. Oh, that's a good touch there by Benteke. Oh, bad second touch that.
I don't know if Palace would be able. I mean, he's in the England squad now, and has a good chance of going to Qatar. So, I think he may even be looking if he doesn't go back to Chelsea, that he goes somewhere else.
Better standard in Palace.
Yeah, there were other clubs. I can't remember now. There were clubs linked with signing him in the summer if he doesn't go back to Chelsea, and even continental clubs as well. Because I'm sure he's looking at being in the England squad for the World Cup, and maybe not in the England first 11, but I think he's a good shout to be in the squad.
Yeah, no, he definitely could be. Good ball across there. Just pinball now.
Leeds are defending really well.
Yeah, he's caught. Here's Gallagher.
Excellent. Yeah.
That's keeping your eye on the ball there.
The one thing I will say is when you're playing like that looks like a team that's really battling for their survival, and they'll actually give Man City a really tough game on Saturday. I don't see that Leeds team going down. Now, they definitely need to pick up more points, but they're certainly that's an impressive performance tonight. They're all playing for the manager. I was a bit dubious about. I mean, I think Bielsa. I know he's a legend at Leeds, and he's been an incredible manager. But I thought it was a bit harsh to get rid of him. But it looks like they're certainly playing for the new guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they're a couple of minutes away from a decent point here, away to Crystal Palace.
Goal scored in 90th minute, Leeds 6.
Second most of any team.
Yeah.
But they haven't really got out of their half in the second half.
Oh no, they haven't looked like scoring at all. I mean, they've definitely been sitting back and defending well and playing for the point. But we'll see how many minutes get added on. But when you see a record like that, that's a very good sign of a team as well, that they battled right to the end, that they're still going. Obviously, fitness as well is obviously pretty good if you're scoring that many late goals.
Barry says, good luck, lads. Thanks for the chat. Talk to you later. See you there, Barry.
Cheers, Barry. Okay, there's only 3 minutes of added time, so yeah.
And then we'll be jumping off. Because you have to ring that important person back.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be interested to see it out. I'd love for Palace to score though. Please score.
Will be huge for Everton. And Burnley, of course.
Yeah. I think it'll finish. I think you were right when you said it finished 0-0, but we'll wait and see. That's another foul. Should have been a foul. They just seem to be going down at every attempt.
Yeah, Leeds are just giving the ball away now, which isn't a good sign that they're just clearing it anywhere.
Zaha, that's awful. The
I
corner.
don't think it was that bad. It wasn't
That's deflected.
deflected, yeah. It still wasn't even that far away. Could have looped in.
Yeah, that's when you're looking. If it was Everton, I would have went in.
Oh. They do say when you're down at the bottom of the league, everything goes against you.
Refereeing decisions. Oh, Gallagher. Oh, fell over again. You need a bit of a... Oh, Zaha's on the edge of the box here. Go beat. He's got narrowed the angle. Oh, keeper. He's got down. That keeper, to be fair, Minier is at a good game as well.
He's a fine young keeper, you know. That's he's doing well for Leeds. He made a few mistakes, but I think he will turn into a top quality keeper.
Anytime I've seen him, I thought he's been brilliant.
Yeah. Can't think any off the top of my head now, but I know there's been a couple of goals, bad ones that he's given away, but in general he's been a fine keeper, and to be playing, he's quite young, I can't remember what age he is now, but to be a regular Premier League starter at that age in goal is quite impressive.
Yeah, keeper. We'll see now, because this will be the last kick of the game.
So, well, maybe one last chance if they can get the ball up the field quickly, but I think it's...
No, that's it.
Done. Yeah. And it's back to Leeds. And
he'll slow it right down.
Yeah, I'd say that'll be it. The ref will blur it up now.
Yeah, now once he kicks this, it's over.
Yeah.
He's gone short with it. And he's blown.
They're shaking hands. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose we'll leave it there. Full time, 0-0. Wasn't the best game, but it is what it is. We had the chats with many people. Good to see everyone back and join us in the comments. We'll be back doing this more weekly now, probably on a Sunday or Monday, depending. So yeah, don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, you know, the usual. We'll be back tomorrow actually with our League of Ireland show, so stay tuned for that. We'll probably be doing that live in the morning as well. So yeah, we'll speak to you all soon. Take care and God bless.
Cheers. Thanks guys.